What is environmental sociology? Environmental sociology is a relatively new area of inquiry that emerged largely in response to increased societal recognition of the seriousness of environmental problems. Many areas of sociology have similarly arisen as a result of societal attention to problematic conditions, including poverty and inequality, racial and gender discrimination, and crime and delinquency. Environmental sociology is unique, however, in that sociological attention to environmental problems had to overcome strong disciplinary traditions that discouraged giving attention to non-social conditions such as environmental quality. Consequently, the growth of sociological work on environmental issues has been accompanied by a critique and reassessment of core sociological assumptions and practices, with the result that environmental sociology has a somewhat ambivalent stance toward its parent discipline. We begin with a brief examination of the nature and evolution of environmental problems, in order to clarify the kinds of issues that are of concern to environmental sociologists. Then we describe the emergence of societal attention to environmental problems, highlighting sociological work on environmental activism and related topics. Next, we describe sociology's response to the increased salience of environmental problems, including the development of environmental sociology as an area of inquiry, as well as its critique of mainstream sociology's neglect of environmental issues. Then we review some important emphases of the field, including analyses of the causes of environmental problems, examinations of the social impacts of these problems, and analyses of solutions to such problems. We end with a brief overview of recent trends and debates in the field, societal environmental interactions, and the evolution of environmental problems. Environmental sociology is typically defined as the study of relations between human societies and their physical environments, or, more simply, societal environmental interactions, Dunlap and Catton 1979. Such interactions include the ways in which humans influence the environment, as well as the ways in which environmental conditions, often modified by human action, influence human affairs, plus the manner in which such interactions are socially construed and acted upon. The relevance of these interactions to sociology stems from the fact that human populations depend upon the biophysical environment for survival, and this in turn necessitates a closer look at the functions that the environment serves for human beings. Three functions of the environment. The biophysical environment serves many essential functions for human populations, as it does for all other species. Daily 1997. But three basic types can be singled out. First, the environment provides us with the resources that are necessary for life, ranging from air and water to food to materials needed for shelter, transportation, and the vast range of economic goods we produce. Human ecologists thus view the environment as providing the sustenance base for human societies, and we can also think of it as a supply depot. Some resources, such as forests, are potentially renewable, while others, like fossil fuels, are non-renewable or finite. When we use resources faster than the environment can supply them, even if they are potentially renewable, such as clean water, we create resource shortages or scarcities. Catton 1980. Second, in the process of consuming resources, humans, like all species, produce waste products. Indeed, humans produce a far greater quantity and variety of waste products than do other species. The environment must serve as a sink or waste repository for these wastes, either absorbing or recycling them into useful or at least harmless substances, as when trees absorb carbon dioxide and return oxygen to the air. When land was sparsely populated and utilization of resources was minimal, this was seldom a problem. Modern or densely populated societies generate more waste than the environment can process, however, and the result is the various forms of pollution that are so prevalent worldwide. Humans, like other species, must also have a place to exist, and the environment provides our home where we live, work, play, travel, and spend our lives. In the most general case, the planet Earth provides the home for our species. When too many people try to live in a given space, the result is overcrowding, a common occurrence in many urban areas, especially in poorer nations. Some analysts suggest that the entire planet is now overpopulated by human beings. Although efforts to determine the number of people the Earth can support has proven to be difficult and contentious, Cohen 1995, competition among environmental functions is especially obvious in conflicts between the living space and waste repository functions, as using an area for a waste site typically makes it unsuitable for living space. When an area is used as a garbage landfill or hazardous waste site, for example, people don't even want to live near it, much less on it. Freudenberg 1997. Likewise, if hazardous materials escape from a waste repository and contaminate the soil, water, or air, the area can no longer serve as a supply depot for drinking water or for growing agricultural products. Finally, converting farmland or forests into housing subdivisions creates more living space for people, but it means that the land can no longer function as a supply depot for food or timber, or as habitat for wildlife. Key concepts in environmental sociology. Environmental injustice. Environmental sociology emphasizes the unequal distribution of environmental benefits and burdens across social groups. Environmental injustices occur when marginalized communities, often based on race, ethnicity, or socio-economic status, bear a disproportionate burden of environmental degradation, pollution, and lack of access to clean resources. This concept underscores the need for environmental policies that address social inequalities and promote environmental justice. Risk society. The concept of risk society highlights the idea that contemporary societies are characterized by increasing awareness and management of various risks, including environmental risks. Environmental sociology explores how societies perceive, assess, and respond to environmental risks, such as climate change, natural disasters, and toxic pollutants. It also examines the role of institutions, media, and social movements in shaping risk perception and the formulation of risk management strategies. Social movements and environmental activism. Environmental sociology recognizes the critical role of social movements and activism in shaping environmental discourse and action. Movements such as environmental justice, conservation, and climate justice have played a significant role in raising awareness, mobilizing communities, and advocating for policy changes. By analyzing the strategies, motivations, and impacts of these movements, environmental sociology sheds light on the potential for collective action to address environmental challenges